Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy Devo, some motivational, back with another day trading spy recap. Real quick, as you know, how I gotta start the video, just by thanking every single one of y'all who's sticking with me through the journey, through the ups and downs, through the goods, the bads, the uglies, the pretties. I thank every single one of y'all who's sticking with me through the journey, and you guys know every day I try to come in and show you guys the truth and provide you guys with things with knowledge and the things that you guys can apply to the markets to make some money or and get better at trading as I am. Okay. Again, I love every single one of y'all with me, and let's get straight into it. Okay. So today we had some really big data. um, as I told you guys yesterday, we had the non-farm payrolls, and they actually came in really good. Let's go look at it. Refresh this real quick. Came in really good. So our non-farm payrolls, it was at 139K. Consensus was 130K, so that came out way better than expected. Unemployment rate came out just as previous, just as forecasted as consensus. So that is pretty good, showing strength in the economy. And then average hourly earnings month on month came in zero point 0.4, better than expected. Average hourly earnings year after year, 3.9, better than expected. Participation rate, just about as previous. Average weekly hours, just the same. Government payrolls, negative 1K, forecasted negative 10K, so that's actually better than expected. Manufacturing payrolls came out a little worse than expected. Non-farm payrolls private came in better than expected. U6 unemployment rate was just as previous. And foreign exchange reserves, that's not us, sorry about that. And then consumer credit change we have at 2 p.m. So we have some pretty good data. It's showing that the economy is strong right now, but that's good and bad news. Why? So the economy is strong, right? It's showing where the unemployment is staying, like, just the unemployment's not going up, it's not coming down. So the economy is steady. Payrolls, sorry about that. Payrolls are good. So Americans are earning, and stuff like that. And so that's good news. But why is it bad news? Because that is less likely for the Fed to cut rates, right? We know the market wants the Fed to cut rates. We know Donald Trump wants the Fed to cut rates. But we know that he's going strictly on data. And the data is showing that we're earning, that the unemployment is staying steady. So the Americans have jobs and that we're doing pretty good. So it's showing that we don't really need rates cut, right? So that is kind of like the negative to the good news, right? Um, and so that's pretty much the data we had coming out today. And let's get straight into the charts. Okay, so today, oh man, so today we jumped up, we gapped up. Why did we have this downturn at the end of yesterday? Well, that was because if you guys don't know, Trump and Elon Musk, they got into a big like feud, like going back and forth over Twitter. It was a lot of tweets back and forth, like going against each other, talking about each other. And what did that cause? That caused Tesla to absolutely tank. I'm talking about tanked. So yesterday we were at this 340 level. Hold up. Yesterday was the 5th. Okay, yesterday was the 5th. So yesterday we were at the 320 level, dropped all the way down to 273. That is huge. That is over 50 bucks from 324 down to 273. That is about 50 bucks. That is huge. So about 152 billion dollars wiped from the market cap of Tesla. That is huge, right? Look at this volume. Look at that candle, and that is like the record that's ever the biggest drop ever happened in one day by Tesla, and that was because him and Trump were going back and forth, and then Trump actually said that he was going to he suggested, not that he is, but he suggested cutting Elon Musk government contracts and subsidies from Elon Musk. So cutting all his subsidies and government contracts. So that caused a huge drop in Tesla. And what was that? buying opportunities. Why was that buying opportunities? Because whenever we see Tesla beat down, whenever we see good companies beat down like that, get beaten down like that, you do nothing but buy, right? And I'm not saying you just throw everything in, because I mean, we could potentially have more downturn, but right now we're rebounding a little bit, but we could potentially have some more downturn. So I'm not saying throw everything in, but that is buying opportunities. And yesterday I just could not stop buying, because I bought at I bought a little bit at like 310, and it dropped to 300, and I bought some more, and then it dropped to 290, 280, 270. It was like I could not stop buying, because it was like, oh my goodness, it was just falling and falling and falling. And I mean, I was kind of catching the knife, right? You don't want to catch the falling knife, but I was like, at first I didn't even see everything that was going on, so I was just seeing it tank. And then that's whenever I started to go to the news, like to Twitter, and see everything that was going on. That's when I just kept buying, because as we know, these levels are not going to be here forever. There is going to rebound eventually. The bull run is going to be crazy, and Tesla will be a 5, 6, 700, $800 stock. So I was just lowering my average cost, in Tesla, and just buying more and more and more, dollar cost averaging. And so that's all I seen really was buying opportunity. When we got all the way from 320 all the way down to 270, I seen nothing but buying opportunities, and that is exactly what I was doing, okay? And so that did negatively affect the SPY. I don't know why I did that. I could just that negatively affected the SPY and the Qs. So the Qs actually dropped a little bit. We were around at the high at 533, and we ended up dropping at the low to 522. The SPY, we were at the highs of 598, and we actually dropped all the way down to 591. So that is the reason why we had that pretty big drop yesterday. And again, I was kind of frustrated right here, because I knew it was going to take these highs and I couldn't pull the trigger. But that huge downturn was because of that whole feud back and forth. It was a big back and forth. And then this morning, news came out that Trump and Elon Musk were supposed to have a phone call, like hashing it out. And then Trump came out and said, speaking on the phone call Friday morning, shortly before 7 a.m., ABC News asked him about reports he had a call scheduled with Musk for later in the day. Trump said, "You mean the man who has lost his mind?" he asked, saying he was not particularly interested in talking to him right now. He said Musk wants to talk to him, but he's not ready to talk to Musk. So, he's a little upset right now, a little hurt. But I mean, they were going back and forth, so they're not ready to talk right now, but they should be hashing it out. And so whenever it was dropping to them 300s, 290, 280, 270 levels, those were opportunities to buy, okay? And so what are we seeing in the market? Again, we had this huge pump up. Why? We had this pump up because of the non-farm payrolls, and then also just like because, I mean, that whole thing dropped because of that whole fuse. So once the market like got done with overreacting, because as you know, the market likes to overreact to things, and so after it overreacted, it actually just pumped back up, along with the non-farm payrolls coming in really good and unemployment steady. So all this good data also pumped this market up and gave this gap down here, and we did run up actually to this 600 level, which is pretty big. And so what do I see coming? I think we could come back down to this 595 level to fill this gap up. I think we can eventually come to that level. I will potentially be looking for a trade, because we are in that 5 minute. We are in the 5 minute, this huge 5 minute candle that we just had. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for a fair value gap to get touched in the 1 minute and see how it gives a reaction. And I will potentially take a short to break structure down here. And so I'll show you what that would look like, my risk to reward. So my stop loss will be on top of this swing right here, because we can touch this little gap up here. My entry will be right around here, and my target would be to break structure all the way down here. So that'd be about a 3 to 1. That's what I'll be looking for if we can get a pullback into this little area right here, this little 1 minute fair value gap. If we don't and we just take off, hey, so whatever. Oh well, it'll take off without me. But I'm being disciplined and I want to see my highest fair value gap. This is kind of the highest, but it's not too sure that it will touch this one, right? Because this little gap right here is not a gap, it's filled. As we see, this thing is filled. But we have a gap right here. This is obviously a big fair value gap, but we have a higher fair value gap right here, and we have this one way up here, but I'm not sure if it'll touch that one. It could. That's why I have my stop loss on top of it, and I would have my entry in around here, right? Depending on how the candles react. If it just blows through this one and then it gives a good wick on this one and a good reaction, that's whenever I would potentially take a short right there, depending how price reacts, right? And so look, as we see, it's itching up to there, so we'll see how it reacts, okay? And so that is pretty much it for the day. That is the news, the data, the feud that happened with Trump and everything that came out. And so we're just gonna see if we can cut down this loss in the week. Hopefully we don't add to it, but you know, you gotta stick to the strategy. And just like yesterday, if I would have stick to the strategy and got in and not been, you know, immobilized, I could have made good profits yesterday. And that's what today we're just gonna stick to the strategy. If it's a win or if it's a lose, we're happy with it because we stick to the strategy. Okay, that is pretty much it for the day. I love every single one of y'all sticking with me through the journey. And remember, guys, stay persistent, passionate, and make sure y'all get paid. All right, peace.